Welcome to Meg Talks, the Move with Meg podcast. I'm Megan Kerrigan and I will be sharing ideas on how you can become a more consistent and confident dancer that understands your body and mind. Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Meg Talks. We are back with another Mindset Matters. It is now part 12 of this mini series. It's not so mini anymore. So welcome Annabelle back to the podcast.
Hi, how are you?
Good. The sun is shining and we're stuck inside recording this. So if you hear us rambling and spitting our words out quickly today, you will know why, because we're getting back into it. No. It's been nice, hasn't it? Just being able to get outside and spend a little bit of time. Like I've been working from outside, which is really nice.
Yeah, no, I worked a little bit from outside this morning on the balcony, and then I've just come back from a walk at lunchtime, and I went to Joe and the Juice and got a juice, and I sat in the sunshine, and it was lovely.
Yeah, it's really nice, and it changes your mood so much, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
It really does. So today we are talking about social media. We talk about it a lot, but basically we want to help to guide you as dancers and parents listening to this in how to use social media well as a positive as an Irish dancer. Obviously, like all things in the world, they can be used for good and it can impact us negatively. So it's the way that you manage it, the way that you are in charge of it, and the way that you decide to let it sort of reign over you. That is the main thing. So today we'll sort of reflect a little bit on your relationship with social media, understand sort of like maybe how that might be impacting your mindset or your self-belief, and then hopefully give you some tools to leave with so that you can start using it more healthily and as a boost for your confidence rather than pulling it down. What would you say your social media habits are like, Annabelle? Be honest.
Well, considering I work on social media,
Yeah.
not just for your good self, but for other people, I do spend a lot of time on there, but not necessarily a lot of time of my own. So it's not necessarily my own feeds I'm on. I tend to be on because that's my job. I tend to be on it for other people. I can get into the thing of scrolling through different reels all the time. I'm not really a TikTok gal. I'm more of an Instagram reels kind of gal, more than anything, to be fair. But I have made a very particular effort on my own, like my personal Instagram page, to just follow certain people. And I do found that's been beneficial over the years.
Good. Yeah. I was just thinking about, like, as we're doing this, it's nice to reflect, isn't it, on our own sort of journey. And I do definitely see a huge difference in myself, my use of social media when I have a specific goal outside of like work and stuff like that. So let's say I'm working towards a high rocks, or even like I'm working towards a big launch at work. I feel like when I have a goal, I'm way more purposeful with my time. So if I'm like, no, I'm switching off now. And I think also a big thing that and a big difference for that is living with Lewis so that like when he does come home, I just put my phone down, and it's a very good way to just, okay, because it is rude. We've all sat there and been on the other end of somebody scrolling on the phone while you're trying to talk to them, and parents of dancers will definitely be, yeah, gosh, we've not got to that well, Lola's got like a fake not a fake phone, but it's a phone looking thing that takes photos and there's games on it and stuff like that. And even that, I'm like, you're not having it. I've hidden it. Like, it is torture because you try to have a conversation and you might as well genuinely be talking to a wall. So I do feel sorry for my parents now that I'm on that other side. But yeah, I do think I've changed over the years in terms of my use of it. But I also noticed my own use very different when I have a goal and I'm a bit more purposeful with my time.
Yeah, that's interesting. We do have sometimes, I find if I spend too long on my phone, it can really heighten my anxiety. So there'll be times where I'm like, right, it's a no phone night, and I'll put it in the bedroom and we'll probably sit and watch a film or something in the living room. Because the temptation otherwise is, you stop and you have a toilet break, or someone pours a drink, or, and if the straight away, the first thing you want to do is pick it up, or I'll put it away and like, I'll do something else like stretch or even colouring. Like everyone laughs, but I love colouring in. Like my mum bought me a colouring in book for Christmas and I was delighted. But like just not being on my phone can definitely reduce my anxiety. But yeah, definitely more wary of who I follow and if I'm following the right people, which I think has helped.
Yeah, and I think that's interesting. That's something we'll touch upon a little bit more, because I suppose dancers and when I talk about social media, it is this will be going out in a couple of weeks, but it's right before the Worlds right now, and I've been doing a lot of sort of Worlds workshops, mindset wise, talking about the last things you should be doing, and one of the key things I always touch upon is like the ramp up in social media around this time of people making it look like their preparation for the World is perfect, like they're ready, they're all excited, they're not nervous at all. And just the different impact on people that has. So, like for some dancers, this would have definitely, I think, I'm a very much like, if I feel a little like maybe on the back foot, I'm going to thrive and strive and be better. Whereas for other dancers and other people, and everybody is different in this, it might push them down and just keep adding to that sort of pressure or lack of self-belief, or it's a
Yeah, I think that's the way I would have gone. So this is probably good that it's me and you having this conversation because there's two different sides of it, really.
yeah, 100%. And it is definitely like it's comparison, isn't it? That is essentially as much as like what else is social media there for? Like when you stop and think about scrolling on Instagram, okay, TikTok, maybe a little bit more entertaining, a little bit like more silly, maybe some of the stuff on there, or a bit more like clothes and things like that. But I still do deep down think the main fundamental basis of scrolling and looking at what your friends are up to, or what other people in your competition are up to, or what other peers are up to at school, like this, the only way to go really is comparison. Like, do you see any other side of that?
Yeah, and I think just as humans as well, I think we're all nosy.
Yeah.
Which it just feeds into that as well, doesn't it? And making it more addictive because it's feeding that curiosity around other people in their lives. And whether that's like an influencer you follow, or whether it's that another girl in your competition, but she lives in another country or another region, or how many times I definitely thought this, and I imagine you probably did as well at times. You would like watch other dancers at other schools and go, I'd love to see in their class. Like, I wonder what it is they do in their class because they all have amazing kicks or whatever. Like, I'd love to just see. And now people can actually see into people's classes from like their videos and stuff. So I do think it's a nosiness thing as well.
Yeah,
But then it's also comparing how do I train my kicks to how they train their kicks,
yeah,
and all that, which can go in a good way or it can go in a negative way.
yeah. We can get that sort of, especially this time of year. Well, she's my age and she qualified for the Worlds. Why didn't I? I'm as good as that, or I'm not as good as that. And, she hasn't qualified, so there's no way I'm going to. And there's just so much of that goes on, I believe, from looking at social media. But that reminder has to be constantly there that social media is a highlight reel. Like, not many people show their full story on social media, and we're culprit. I'm a definite culprit of it. Like, there's not really much been going on in my life if I haven't posted a picture on Instagram, and that's got less and less as I've got older because I just don't have time. And I also care what people think less, and I think that's another element that plays into the age of dancers. They are constantly taught to look for external factors that approve what they're doing, whether it be a teacher's comment, whether it be a placement from a judge. From a very young age, they are taught competitively to be looking for outward approval. And I think maybe if they're not getting that, or if they feel like they're not getting that in these other areas, like results at a competition, then they're looking for it elsewhere, maybe on social media. And it's just something to definitely be aware of, I think, for parents.
Yeah, 100%, especially as dancers go from children to teenagers, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. that age, because I think that's more prevalent in teenagers, whether they're athletes or not. And then adds that factor then into that, and just creates a double layer then to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like a double-edged sword, as they say.
As they
Um,
do.
yeah, and it's hard because there is also so much good
Well, yeah, because
that
we're
comes
on
from
there.
social media. Yeah, we're on there. You can learn. There's education. There's community, but it has to be managed. And I think what's really difficult is, especially for parents, how do you manage that without like being over your kid's shoulder all the time? You can't see what they're looking at, but you can't see what's popping up for them. And I think that's where TikTok maybe comes down that little bit more dangerous route because it's less maybe managed. You shouldn't be on there if you are under 16. Sorry, kids. But I think it's 16, isn't it? But yeah, I think that's where it's really difficult for the parents because you want to give them the freedom. They're gonna have it when they're older anyway, so you want them to sort of like learn how to manage the emotions that come along with it, um, but within reason. So what would you say like boundaries that parents could set, or how could parents work to help dancers have a healthier relationship with social media?
Yeah, I think when you first introducing them to social media in whatever way that is, it's about making sure that there's a lot of trust there so you can have open conversations about what's
Mhm.
been going on. If they are young dancers, like I would be checking to see what they've been searching and things like that. And I know there's certain apps that parents can download onto their phones that shows them what their dancer has been up to or what their child has been up to on social media. The names of them, I've no idea, but I do know they exist.
Yeah.
Um, I'm sure you'll be onto that in a few years, Meg. Um, and then as they obviously progress into teenage years, I think it's about managing or seeing if you can notice a difference in your dancer based on when they've been on social media or when they haven't been. Can you notice they get more down in the dumps? Or are they going, well, look at this girl, she did this. Like, can we try this? Or, well, look at this stretch. Like, maybe we should have, is it like an excitement thing? Or is it something that makes them more withdrawn?
Yeah.
And I think because social media can be accessed, in the car on the way home from dancing. It can be in their bedrooms at home. It's on the bus to school. Like it literally is no matter where you go.
It's
It's
all
not just,
encompassing, isn't it? It's a
yeah,
bit
it's
like
not just
yeah.
one place.
Yeah.
So it needs to be a wide, I think, conversation from the outset, from the very
Yeah.
beginning. And obviously it's being highlighted. Lots of different things about social media have all been highlighted on some recent TV programs
Yeah.
around children's use of social media, the program Adolescence.
Yeah.
And I think that sparked a greater conversation, which I think, can only be a good thing in amongst families.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, that's the main thing, isn't it? It's the trust, it's the monitoring, and it's just also like the open conversations, like you're saying, and your dancer being able to feel like they can say anything to you and your reaction not be sort of like not to be reactive basically, and to just have a conversation and help them to sort of navigate it themselves. It's going to help them to sort of learn it better. um it's interesting as well, like you say, to sort of learn your dancer's reaction, learn your child's reaction to it. um a couple of things flagged up in my brain there. Number one is when Lola watches TV, she's 6. When she watches TV, which she rarely does here, as you can imagine, it just doesn't happen. We're like, get out in the garden or go do something, or we're just busy people, so it just never really happens. But when she does, and then we try to ask her to do something, it's like moody. Like it's like grumpy, growling, making noises, and that is genuinely the impact of what television is doing to these kids' brains. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, turn that off, you're never having it again." Uh, because without that, it's normally like, "Yes, yeah, I'm coming," and, like, the difference, I'm actually gobsmacked, and it happens every single time. I've never seen it not happen in that same situation, which just
Crazy, isn't
blows
it?
my mind. Yeah. So that flagged up for me. So, yeah, and that would be, okay, noticing, and even if we give her a time frame, I don't think she understands time. So even if I said, right, you've got 10 minutes and then we're leaving, just 10 minutes, you probably won't get to the end of the program, making sure that she understands that first to see if that changes things really doesn't help. So yeah, we're sort of trying things in terms of that. Because you can't hide your kid away from TV, right? But at the
Yep.
same time, like if we can learn a better way that it doesn't impact her mindset and her mood, then that helps us all to be a happier family. Same thing goes for social media. So the second thing that flagged up in my mind was like and this is difficult because we probably are part of this problem where a dancer knows what they need to be doing, for example. Then they go on social media and someone else is doing something else, so they're going to try that something else. But the thing that they were already trying, they haven't given enough time and patience to see if it works for them first. So it's
Yeah.
almost like that shiny object syndrome, like, oh, let's try and move with Meg. Oh, let's try and do that. Oh, I need to do this challenge and I need to do that. Like, yes, of course, we facilitate a lot of those things and they're the right for people at the right stage in their journey. But I think a difficult thing is seeing all of those shiny objects, thinking it's a quick fix, thinking this is what everyone's doing, so I'm going to do it, and then actually not being true to your own journey, being patient and consistent with something before just scrapping it and moving on to the next thing.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think there's there's lots of different companies like ours or similar to ours around nowadays, which, they have lots of free resources out there and lots of free things for dancers to utilize, which was never around when we were dancing. Like, as we say it all the time, like we'd have killed for some of the knowledge, especially when I was with my first school, we were very, very small. I think we were all just kind of winging it together. And although my teachers had knowledge in terms of choreography and turnout and all that, what we should have been doing at home and stuff like that was just not, it just wasn't talked about, just wasn't discussed. And I think nowadays that's a fantastic thing dancers have. But then on the other side, as you say, there is so much information and sometimes conflicting information and so many, there's like 15 different stretches that all can make you kick height higher. Like that everyone, I think sometimes it can just be like, whoa, almost like when you go to a restaurant and there's so much on the menu, like, well, this is you to a T and you don't know what to order. That's 100% you. It's kind of that same thing. Like it would almost be better to have less choice, even though it is fantastic. They've got so much choice. It's really hard to navigate.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, that's just, again, something to be aware of and to help your dancer navigate if you do see them getting that shiny object syndrome. Okay, well, you haven't finished this yet. Let's finish that, see what the results of that are. And then if that hasn't worked for you and whatever you're working on, then we may look and see if there's something else. And it's just, yeah, being on that journey with them and trying to reduce that overwhelm of so much knowledge out there.
Yeah.
And it can be that you click well with one way it's being
Person.
taught by one
Yeah.
person. Yeah.
100%. I do think that's what's good about the way you run the challenges because it's a different thing for each day. It helps them pinpoint, oh, well, it's actually its strength that I need to work on rather than I thought it was stretching my hamstrings. It's actually not that at all. It's this. And it does help because, as you say, there's, we've done 2 now. There's lots of different ways that you can improve things like kick height and stuff like that, but not everyone's weakness is going to be the same as yours. And you can try something, but if that's not your thing that you need to work on. So I think that's a really good way that you've set the challenges up, that it kind of gets rid of that confusion. By the end of the week, they all know which day they need to work on the most and, they all let us know. And if they don't know, then you're there to help them if they don't.
Yeah, and that's the challenges really are like as much as they're labeled a challenge because it sucks the dancers in. And yes, they do see progress before and after. The main reason that we do them is that sort of like what, why, and how, which is our sort of like baseline of everything we do, is like understanding your what, like what is your correction, why can't you improve it, and then how to improve it. That is essentially what we're trying to do in everything that we do. But the challenges just have a really great way of breaking it down into 5 key sections. And then you being able to say, walk away at the end and say, okay, I know it's my hip mobility that's stopping my turnout. So now I'm going to go into the library and search hip mobility for turnout. And I've got loads of classes to do. And I know that they're going to make a difference.
Rather than just putting in 10 outs where you'll still get loads of classes, but it might not be the specific thing for you.
Exactly. And that's the same as social media, isn't it? It's the exact same thing. You're just in a sea, basically, swimming around like,
Exactly.
oh, more knowledge, oh, more things. But like, they might not be the things that are specific for you.
Exactly.
In terms of like comparison, then, what do you think dancers could do? So like similar to parents, maybe like noticing how they feel after scrolling is one thing. But like, is there any other things that they can do to sort of like limit that level of comparison, or how much that sort of comparison negatively impacts them, that they can sort of put in place today?
Yeah, and I think some dancers will find this easier than others naturally. Some people
Mhm.
compare themselves more naturally. Some people use it more positively than others naturally. As you said before, Meg, you would likely be spurred on by something, whereas I would go the other way and go, "Oh my goodness, I'm rubbish," and like would end up crying on the way home from class. Like it would have just that's exactly how it would have gone. I can see it already. So yeah, there is, and the thing is, we can't pretend kids don't live in a world of technology and social media. We can't, hide them from it forever. That's everyone's, it's so important for jobs and, everything going forward. Even if it is something as simple as LinkedIn, like it is a massive part of the world. We can't pretend it doesn't exist. So we need to figure out how the best to manage it, which is obviously what we've been talking about. But yeah, I think it's remembering that everyone's on their own journey, as cringy as that is. And as cringy as it is. But everyone is on their
Not
own
really
journey.
cringy, is it? It just seems cliche. It's like just
Cliche,
that.
that's the word I'm looking for.
I was like, it's not cringe. Yeah.
It's cliche as it is. But yeah, everyone is doing what they need to do for themselves, or should be doing what they need to be doing for themselves, and how someone else is preparing in dance class might not be the right thing for you. And just looking at what they're doing and saying, well, that looks amazing. And then looking at maybe you've not had a great dance class. You're just comparing their highlight reel to, your everyday, your lived experience. No one posts like, I've just done a horrendous hornpipe. Yes. Like, written this poll, should I cut the video up? Like, no one posts them things at all. And these are the things it's just really to be conscious of. I think some
Mhm.
dancers know it in terms of, oh yeah, like I know that. But when it actually comes to the moment of being aware, are you comparing yourself in a negative way? And then remembering this conversation rather than remembering it 3 hours later.
Yeah. It is like that awareness, isn't it? That it's just like bringing it to the forefront of your mind, having it at the front of your mind, just while you are scrolling. Oh, I'm going down that spiral again. It's the same thing with nerves. Like, when I talk to dancers about nerves, it's like nerves are not bad until you add the negative self-talk. Like, I'm nervous and that means I'm going to dance bad. Well, no, stop. Be aware of what you've just spoken to yourself about. The more aware you are, you can change that exact same statement to, I'm nervous, so I'm going to do X, Y, and Z to support me and make sure I can dance my best. Like, you're saying the same thing, but you're flipping it. It's exactly the same thing. Okay, whoa, I'm noticing that I'm comparing myself. It's impacting me a little bit. What, like, what has brought that on? Is it because I saw 4 dancing videos in a row? Is it that I saw one of my main competitors on social media dancing? Was it that
I
I
picked my phone up maybe straight after dance class or
yeah,
straight after a practice or first thing in the morning? Because
yeah,
even times of day and that will impact things as well. And I know,
100%.
they always say, don't pick your phone up the first thing and go on social media for the first hour or the last hour of the day.
What do we all do?
I actually don't.
Do you not?
I don't for the
I
first hour of the day. I'll go to my WhatsApp. Does that count social media? Don't think so.
no, it's messaging,
No,
isn't it?
I go to my WhatsApp. Maybe
I
the
check
first half an
WhatsApp.
hour.
I think if I don't have any WhatsApps, I then probably check social media.
I never wake up and have no WhatsApps. So
Well,
that normally gives
that's
me a
true.
mission to go.
I mean, no interest in WhatsApps.
Oh, unlucky to anyone that texts Meg. She's on Instagram. No, you know why. You're not interested.
Yeah. No, that's funny. But it is true, like, it does really impact. Like, the first thing you do, rolling over, like, it's so bad, and it's like, what for? Like, I was down this hole at one point of just complete procrastination, not getting any work done, not progressing forward, and it really impacted my mindset, and not even, like, I didn't feel anxious. I definitely didn't feel like I don't think I felt depressed, but just like so demotivated. Like, you're just like, I'm just surviving
In a
almost.
rut.
thriving. Yeah, in a rut, it's just like, oh, just get to the end of the day, have another scroll through Instagram. Like, oh, it just is not, I don't know. When I think about it, it makes me feel a bit sick. I'm like, oh, as if I was in that. But like we do, don't we? We get into that and it's hard.
Yeah.
Especially like, I think another thing just quickly to touch upon is like, this is the first generation that's had phones and social media about from when they have started to develop. Like we were on the cusp of social media starting. So we can't fully grasp and understand, and parents can't fully grasp and understand as much as we try to. It's not our lived experience. And so we need to also be open about that to dancers and say, like, okay, like, let them guide it a little bit and let them know this is different to how you grew up, but not in a, oh, we never had that when I was young, in that like patronizing, oh, when I was a kid, that kind of a way. In like a, well, I don't know how this would impact me when I was younger. Like, tell me how it might impact you in your days, and like opening that conversation up as a two-way thing rather than you telling them something, them having to listen, and them not wanting to take part.
I'm thinking, you don't understand.
Most parents, yeah, and you don't understand, so they don't listen to anything you say anyway.
Yeah.
So like opening it up as a two-way conversation, I do think is really, really important, especially because it's true. We haven't been there, we don't understand. We can do our best to try. And
Of
it's
course.
more scary because we don't understand sometimes. So if you felt in control and you knew all the apps and things to monitor, but for some people that are parents of dancers, they don't get it. They're not great. My mom's terrible on her phone. If she had to try to manage me, like we used to have our computer in the middle of the living room, so like they could see the screen. Anything we were doing, our parents could see the screen because it was in visual like daylight.
Yeah, ours was
Everybody there.
downstairs.
Right? Now you imagine how much this is like the most private thing, really. You can't see. And your parents, sorry parents out there, but my mum couldn't, the size of the text on her phone is so big, I could probably see it. She's in Japan right now and I could probably still read her text from here. There's no way. Even if I put my phone in her face, she would still wouldn't be able to read the text on there. So I do, there's also like a fear amongst not older people, like your parents are younger of Irish dancers right now than my parents, but at the same time, I do think there is like that level of fear and like unknown and yeah, burying your head in the sand and wanting it to go away rather than actually sort of like just dealing with it and learning.
Yeah, 'cause it's not going anywhere.
No, 100%. Posting on socials then. What do we think about posting on social media as like, how is that and how can we make that a positive thing for dancers?
Posting on social media. So yeah, I think it's become more and more popular. Dancers posting themselves dancing on social media, especially with our good friends, Good Adulation, and Fresh TV, because everyone uses them videos as well to post on social media, and then pages like Officially Irish Dance then repost them. So even if you're not following that person, you're probably going to see their video anyway, because they are shared by so many things. And again, everyone only posts the highlight reel. No one's posting the final heavy jig of the 3-hour class they've just done. Like, no one's posting the video they absolutely hate. They go and delete straight away. And that's
or the one where they had a bad day at a fesh.
yeah, that's not seeing the light of day normally. And I think the important thing is to think about really is, and as you mentioned it before, to be fair, like if we're always looking for external validation, like are you posting it for you or are you posting it for likes?
Yeah. What's the deep down reason that you want
Behind that.
those likes? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And how is that, it might give you that, oh, I've hit 1,000 likes or whatever, or I've hit 5,000 views, or I've hit 1 million views, or all this. But
Yeah.
what does that give you? What is that giving you? And that, whatever it's giving you, is something you're missing in your normal everyday life. And we need to figure out a way for you to get that in a healthier way.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. And I think like a really important thing is like, it's not even, and this kind of comes down to like show dancing and stuff like that as well. Is like maybe you're not the world champion, but like you do really well with performing for social media and creating TikToks and things that like spaces that the people like the Gardner Brothers and Kerja and there's loads of them popping up now, these people that are being really creative. And they weren't necessarily the best competitive dancers. Like, and that is cool because I think the positive thing that this is doing for dance is it's opening up this new little niche that's like, okay, there's show dancing and there's competitive dancing. It used to be just that. Now there's like literally a space for you to create whatever you want with your dancing and to share it with the world. And again, bringing in the guy, Mr. Crooks, and his whimsical skedaddling and all of that. Like he's sharing and expanding Irish dance in a way he probably did not ever set out to do. But that is happening because of this sharing of our sport. So like as much as it might be negative personally for people if it's not managed, we also need to look at like the space that it's creating for dancers that might be only ever judging themselves and comparing themselves competitively. Now they might have found an area of our sport that allows them to thrive and that they are better at. And I think
And
that
it's a bit more, you can be more relaxed. Like you don't have your arms by your side. You know, that some dancers thrive in the creativity of making up choreography to, you know, the most viral song and then posting that. And I think there was a big thing, a big influx with this really around COVID because everyone was around at home and there wasn't really much else to do. And I think that probably as well has spurred this on.
Yeah. And we had more time to be creative instead of like 7 classes a week, all these balls exhausted, running to this fesh, that fesh, having what school, 3 weeks in the summer off. Like it gave our brains such a space for creativity and finding the joy in dance and finding the root of our love again for it. And I think, that's a nice element to what social media and that space has created. And you see people like actually making a career out of making social media Irish dancing videos. Like the Gardner Brothers were sponsoring Cheltenham races and Walk for Crystal. And you know, when you're like, what?
And we watched them on this morning, didn't we? At your house the other week.
Yeah, it's just like, this is amazing. They've made their own space for what they wanted to do because they loved it, they enjoyed it, and people enjoyed it because you can feel the fun and the joy from them through it.
Yeah, and that really started, didn't it, with Morgan over in America, who was picked up by Riverdance. I think she was one of the first ones that the newspapers and that picked up over in America. And I think, you know, she really proved to a lot of people that there was a bit of space for this too.
Yeah, it's cool. And not forgetting the Girls Elevate that I was a part of in COVID. That was so hard though. I'm terrible at things like that.
That looked really hard.
There was not a space for me within this like learning something virtually. I was in my garden like, how am I ever going to make this look good? I'm like, please can you just cut all of the parts of the video and just put this first 4 bars in because it's so difficult. Like Lauren's choreography and then Leanne Stubbs' choreography that she's just like dum di da da dum. How am I supposed to know what that means?
And Leanne's such a natural at it as well, isn't she? It's just she makes it look everything dead easy, and then you try it, it's like whoa,
so nice of her. But yeah. So there you go, and I'm a world champion. That is not my forte. That style of dance, being creative, using my arms. I've spoke about it loads. That transition into shows is really difficult for me. So I think it's what social media is also giving is a space for dancers to find their best version of their dance selves, and give a new avenue to try, a new creativity to bring into things, which I think is a positive that maybe we don't speak about. I think everybody sees social media as this big negative thing, but especially for young minds. But I do think there's a lot of space in there that is bringing positivity. And of course, us in our education, we try to give you as much knowledge, as much support, as much free content as we can. So yeah, do obviously check us out. Move with Meg, with 2 G's. Don't ask.
Don't sort that.
Meg with 2 G's because someone stole Move with Meg, and she's actually a real estate agent in America because I went and
if you ask her for 10 hours advice, you're not going to get much.
Yeah, she'll just tell you how to get out of your house and into your new one. finally then, I suppose, touching upon sort of social media, what we need to touch upon is obviously safety. And then the reason why like young dancers should not be on social media. And that is one of the main reasons why we sort of opened up our Gold Club community side of things. So we've got our own app, which means that even if your dancers don't have social media, they can be part of a community that is supportive. It's kind of like its own mini social media where dancers are sharing their progress pictures, their worries. It's where we host our challenges. We have
profile pictures.
They can message each other. They can message each other. They can message me directly. But it's all managed by us, and you have to be a Gold Club member to get access to that. Or we do have the free version where if you download the Move with Meg app, there is free content on the app. So you've got the Move Like a Champion mini course on there, and that has a little free mini community in there where dancers share their progress as well. But that part of the reason why we did that was because it's like allowing younger dancers to be in a safe, supportive space where they can connect, ask questions, celebrate their wins, no sort of like big comparison pressure. It's all about growth, and we purposely sort of like, what's the word? Facilitate that, but it's not the word I mean. It's like, what's the word when you like try to make a space where something grows nicely? It's going to annoy me. Anyway.
We'll go with facilitate.
Facilitate. So yeah, if you haven't yet, we are changing the Gold Club very soon. And with that comes a small price increase. But if you join the Gold Club now, you will keep the price that you are in at. So if you want to stick at that £35 a month price point and you think, oh, well, let's give it a try before that price goes up so I know whether I want to keep it at 35 or we don't want to use it at all, I would recommend getting signed up soon, because once we move to that higher price point, even if you cancel and start again, you will be going back to that higher price. So anyone that's in there at the point of changing to our new version will keep the price that they are at. So if that is not an incentive, as well as the safety, support, community, fun, education,
mindset,
then let that monetary gain be. Okay, finally, some practical things that dancers can take away then from today. Number one is,
I saw you were asking me then. I was like,
what? Yeah, go on.
Monitor how you're feeling when you spend some time on social media. Figure out if it's good for you, not good for you, and that might change. It's not always going to stay the same.
Yeah, and that's parents looking over their dancers, but also dancers being aware of that and being responsible for that themselves. Number two, something we actually didn't touch upon, and we always do, is like actually auditing how you feel on certain people's feeds as well. Like if someone pops up in your feed and that highlights to you, oh, they really trigger my anxiety, then there can be like that little thing of like, oh, I don't want to unfollow them because they'll know. You can just hide them from your feed, and it just means they don't pop up for you. That means it's a really kind way to support yourself while not hurting somebody else's feelings, and to just prioritize your own mindset there. So I think that's just a really simple way. If you do notice that, oh, I always feel a bit down after seeing that person's, or I always feel a little bit less confident after I've seen that person's videos, or just hide them from your feed, and it just means they won't pop up for you. It's very simple to do. And also a really nice tool, like I say, that's kind and protects you.
Yeah, kind to yourself and kind to others.
Yeah, exactly. And then finally, find a positive space within social media, whether that's a network of dancers, whether it's following like one of these sort of like support groups that shares inspiring things, whether it's following us guys on social media, or whether it is joining the Gold Club and joining our members club, or even just as simple as like making a group chat with your own friends, having somewhere supportive so that when you maybe are feeling the impacts of scrolling a little too much, you've got somewhere to go. Obviously, if that can be in person, even better. But if it is that you just know, oh, I'm feeling a little bit like this, I know what's going to fill me back up again, going into that positive place, whether it is our members club for the Gold Club members, whether it is a group chat with your friends, or just even talking to your parents, having that tool of knowing what your step is to bring you back into that positive, better, more confident mindset. With all that said, whether social media brings you up like it does for some people, makes you fight like me, or if it maybe impacts you a little bit negatively, like maybe Annabelle, you had said it might have for you, cast, then take what helps. This is your journey, as Annabelle said. Do what works for you, right? Unfollow if you need to, hide if you need to, spend less time if you need to, or follow more people if you need to, join a community if you need to, share more, post more, be more creative. Do what suits you best. And that's the main.
There's no right or wrong.
Yeah, exactly. It's just your way that makes you feel the best. So, reminder about the notes, the links in the show notes. I've popped in there. We've got a free parents Facebook group, which you can hear that I really want to get in the sun now, can't you? A free parents Facebook group that is really nice, supportive space for parents to sort of share any worries or concerns that they might have, especially sort of about this topic. So I'll pop the link in there for that, and obviously the link for our Gold Club, of course, and where you'll find our Members Club, which is our safe community space. And then finally, I will pop in the link for the Move Like a Champion mini course, where you will get to download the app and use sort of like the free taster version of our membership and of our Members Club. Thank you all for listening. I feel like that was interesting. I think I've learned some stuff for myself there.
Yeah, that time flew.
I know, it always does, doesn't it, when we're
that went so
passionate
quick.
about what we're talking about. Passionate. Right, get your bum back in the sun. Woo! And have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you for listening, guys, and we'll see you on another episode very soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Meg Talks. Don't forget to share your favourite parts of the episode and tag us on Instagram at MoveWithMeg with 2 Gs. And as a special treat, head to movewithmeg.co.uk/Fesh Day Warmup to access your free video. See you next time.